All right, friends, we're back again for your favorite podcast show of the week. It's called Location Weekly. We are recording on February the 19th. Once again, Karsten is joining me today from Europe. Great to have you, Karsten. How are you doing?
Thank you. Great, very much. So last weekend of winter seems to look like so a bit of snowboarding yesterday, but it's melting. So yeah, it's fine. It's always good to see more daylight. So it's coming. So everything is fine so far. How about you?
Yeah, same. It's been very mild here in Toronto. We had one snowfall a few days ago, already gone again. Yeah, it's warm, it's mild, and the baseball season is around the corner. So the teams all have started spring training already in Florida and Arizona. So it's yeah, coming fast. So yeah, excited about that and all that we have coming ahead. So we were just talking before we started recording about our retail local conferences. We have two coming up soon. One in Europe in Germany with you. So maybe you want to mention that quickly. Some
Absolutely. So we
details.
partnered up again with the Airport of Munich, which is yeah, very good supporter and partner of the LBMA for years now. And so partnering with the airport, allowing us to use the venue at the Airport of Munich, which is in terms of logistics very easy for us as a global association to bring the people there. And it's about how we can change the retail business more in a relationship business, because there are so many events around in the retail sector. So retail, for example, Eurosys is coming up next week. We have shop talk and things like that. But we are more focusing in Europe about this relationship between our partner, our network on a C level. And so just bringing new ideas and see what's going on in the industry and where our maybe opportunity is. Cool thing about this conference, first time we are teaming up with a second conference called Social CEO, which means we're helping C-level people who are kind of are in our industry, how they run their social media accounts, because it's always a question, what do I share, what I not want to share? Is it good for the brand? Is it good for my personal reputation? So having two conferences under one roof, and I'm super happy to want that partner because it's helping us a lot. So you asking yourself a lot, what I want to post, what not, what is good, what's bad. So those kind of things. And yeah, so we're looking forward to it's April 11th, Airport of Munich. So if you don't have a ticket, take a ticket now and book it. That was my advertising block.
There you go. So April 11th in Munich at the airport. And then just 2 weeks later from that, we have Retail Loco here in the US in partnership with Mall of America in Minneapolis. That is April 24th and 25th. Our second year partnering with Mall of America. We're excited about it. Some new content, new speakers. We're actually working on bringing a panel together that is a bunch of mall operators all kind of coming together from Westfield and GGP and Mall of America and so on, sharing insights across the industry, restaurant industry insights, and a lot of other things, AI and all of that. So, um,
Roller coasters.
yes, and roller coasters. Obviously, it's Mall of America, so you can ride a roller coaster while you're there. So, yeah, so April 24th and 25th, get your tickets for that as well. We'd love to see you there. Okay, let's jump into the show. Four stories to cover this week, as per usual, and I'll kick it off with our first story about avocados from Mexico. So, if you're not familiar, if you ever bought an avocado from Mexico, so it's a government actually organization, the Mexican Haas Avocado Importers Association, and their brand is called Avocados from Mexico. And so for a number of years now, they've done promotions around the Super Bowl, as they did this year. What's new, though, is they've started to deploy some AI technology. So they launched a campaign called Guacamole, with the AI in the middle there. Very clever. I love it. Partnered with an agency called 270B. And basically, what they were encouraging you to do is upload a photo of an ingredient in one of your Super Bowl dishes to betterbowl.ai. And then using multimodal AI, they would then generate a guacamole recipe using the items in your picture. So they're using GPT-4 for the text part, GPT-4 Vision for image recognition, and a platform called DALL-E for image generation. So they kind of combine all three of these things together to deliver these personalized recipes within an ingredient list and a step-by-step directions on how to recreate the recipe. So I think it's kind of fun, and interesting. And their connection to the Super Bowl, I wasn't aware of this, but some interesting facts that they shared in their announcement is that the Super Bowl is the #1 consumption time occasion for avocados and guacamole ever. Like this is when the most avocados and guacamole are eaten is Super Bowl Sunday. They estimate that 250 million pounds of Mexican avocados are imported ahead of the event, and so that's a lot. It's so the timing is really good. So basically, just to give one example, if you were to upload a photo of say feta cheese and cucumbers, the generator might come back with a Greek inspired guacamole dish, in combining feta cheese and guacamole or things like that. So I think it's fun. I think it's interesting, and there's a questionnaire part. It can be personalized, so you can set your event size of how many people are at your party, or the spice level or flavor preference that you have, and things like that. So very fun. Check it out. Avocados from Mexico.
Wow. So I learned a lot today. So I didn't know that all the avocados come more or less for one distributor. Okay, good. And secondly, that at Super Bowl, people stay healthy. I didn't thought that. Uh, well, I love the idea just to bringing and matching your own experience and your own taste and flavor and things like what you really want to eat with kind of this AI-driven recipes. It's coming more and more. So as we have been at the NRF show, we were part of this food innovation zone. We saw a lot of startups and technologies popping up where there is about a personalization, individualization, and it was always the question in the past how we can make this happen. Yeah. And now AI is helping us to create recipes and send it out to various platforms. And this is literally what I'm super interested in. First of all, yeah, it's great to have this one platform spreading it out. But on the other hand, is what are you doing with this multiple local suppliers of recipes? So you have recipe blocks, you have recipe machines in your fridge. We have machines, so cooking machines in Europe, which is just giving you recipes. So it's very interesting to see how they bring this information into that, because then we are talking about a new media channel on a location, my fridge, for example, or my kitchen machine, where we can, consume this kind of things. And that's the next big step. So I guess this year is also not about AI only, it's about connecting different media channels through AI to make things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, great point. I think that's exactly what's happening. So cool.
All right, let's jump into our next story. So from Germany, our friends from MediaMarkt Saturn, there's a leading electronics retail provider. So most of you are familiar with them. They're longtime members and partners of the LBMA. So they teamed up with Uber and to make instant delivery happen. So deliveries will start spring 2024 and allow to order online in more than 200 stores for Media Saturn in the major cities here in Europe, and bring goods to your home. So instantly you click it, buy it, and the Uber driver will pick it up like Uber Eats and bring it to your home. So that drastically cuts down the waiting time for what you want to have, and also this allows you to get all the benefits what you have in store to make it happen. So when it comes to tools, for example, you need something for students and you don't have to wait a long time. Maybe 3 days is too long with Amazon. So that's their gap they want to squeeze in. So I like that idea. At the end of the day, Sasha Marja, he's the CEO of MediaMarkt Saturn. He leads the initiative. And he said that is part of their omni-channel strengths and provide a lot of goods for the customers at the end of the day. And now you can see they're squeezing into that gap Amazon is not fitting into because they don't have the partnership. They rely on their own logistics network. And so, yeah, let's see how it turns out. 200 locations in Europe, only in Germany, sorry for that. Funny side fact, it's limited in weight. So it's only 23 kilograms available on same-day delivery, instant delivery. So imagine if you need a new washing machine or dryer, you find someone else. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, it's good to see that kind of Uber is white labeling their platform in Europe and kind of making this available to retailers. I think, the point you made about Amazon to me is the most interesting because it's, here in North America, Amazon's building massive warehouses, keeping products, closer to the last mile of delivery, so that they can do this kind of, same day or even like, 2 hour kind of delivery type of stuff. And that's, it's not possible in Europe. You don't have the space to do that. You have to basically use the storerooms and the inventory that is sitting within the retailers and get it to the customer, directly from there. There's no, room for this sort of intermediary warehousing kind of thing. So I think it makes a ton of sense for Uber to play in that. They mentioned that, there's thousands of restaurants in Germany that are using Uber today. And so this is kind of expanding that into the retail sector. But, as you were talking, I was thinking about, your daughter at university, when she calls you and says, "Hey, I need a new iPhone or I need a new charger or something." This is the service now, right? That will get it to her,
It's like
right?
flowers. You can just call them and say, bring them flowers. And now you can do it online and say, bring a new iPhone for your daughter. I'm not one to do that, but it's different story. Mine is still all mentioning and think about Amazon. So yes, they're trying to build this warehouses, this close to last mile delivery warehouses, but they have still a problem to get workforce for it. So it's still a lack of workers here, even in this low sector. And then it makes a ton of sense to combine with other services. And when you see we have an Uber driver and delivering Uber Eats, what they can do to bridge something. Maybe for me, it's not important that the thing will be delivered instantly, or I'm fine with an hour or two waiting time from my local MediaMarkt Saturn electronic shop. Well, then you can do a magic in the tour planning from the Uber driver and say, right, first deliver the food and then pick up the TV and bring them to the guy there. So it makes a ton of sense also in terms of sustainability. Just use existing resources, not doing this crazy things back and forth again, picking stuff up. Yeah, all right.
Okay, all right. Moving on to our third story. So the DPAA, the Association for Out of Home, made an announcement this week that I think was kind of interesting in that they've created essentially a sub-association, let's call it, called the Moving Out of Home Association, so the MOOHA. And so essentially they're separating out their member companies that are involved in out-of-home advertising on moving vehicles, essentially. So you're talking about taxi top, you're talking about in-vehicle advertising, you're talking about trucks, with advertising on the side of it. So quite interesting. So there's a number of sort of founding members of this Agile Media Group, LED Truck Media, Rapify, All Over Media, Geopath, Firefly, Mobilytics, MOVIA Media, which is based here in Toronto, where I am. I'm one of the original advisory board members of that company. So, and Reveal Mobile and Street Metrics. So they have the measurement side tied into this as well. So I think this is, a good and interesting move for them. They're having an initial launch event for the MOOHA in New York City on March the 13th. So that's coming. But I think that I'm kind of two minds on this, right? From an LBMA point of view, thinking about our history and our members and, the diversity that we have in the member base in terms of, we have out of home companies, we have, data analytics and location and indoor navigation and, payments companies and, television and all sorts of media. And I think one of the things that for me that the most consistent positive feedback we've ever had from all of our events over the years is that you have this cross section of different people in the room that are not necessarily competitors, but leads to partnerships and discussions and things like that. So I get why they're separating this out. It makes sense on the one hand, but I think that from an events and a networking point of view, you want to make sure that you have some diversity there that can create new innovation and new opportunities between some of these players and the brands and other technology companies that aren't in the out of home space. So I find it interesting. I think it makes sense for them, and we'll watch and see what happens. So any thoughts from you?
Absolutely. Well, I see it all over. It's just what's it's like waves. You see that? So combining information, bringing at least a lot of people together on one table and discussing things is one idea. And then always it start the discussion, well, we can do our own, or there are specific needs for industry. We have to cover needs, standards, those kind of things. So attraction points for potential clients and so on. So, and then you see that wave. So let's do it separately. Let's develop that thing. Maybe the outcome is, okay, we developed something really cool. And then they come back and say, right, we have to sit on the table again. So this is more or less a back and forth over the past 20 years I'm with the industry. It's good because it's a melting pot. People are engaged, they are there, they are committed, and this is always good to see people being committed to those kind of things and not being part of a big association. You remember the old times of those mobile associations we had globally? Yeah, at the beginning, we had mobile Mondays all over every Monday, all around the globe. And then what happened after 10 years? I think they are still running some of these chapters, but this is how it is. Yeah. So a diversity in this is also good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Final story.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Good transition from this last story to the next one about mobile. So if it comes to mobile apps and security on mobile apps, it's always a good question to ask yourself about what about your geodata, and is your geodata correct? And is it fit for your needs? And a company called Appdome launched this new service, Geo Compliance Suite, which allows you to verify your location on your mobile device, but using your app, for example, then there's some content may available in one region or is not allowed to show when it comes to gambling, things like that, or coupons. Yeah, so they just try to prevent that by including fake GPS apps, VPN use, and things like that. And this is for brands and retailers and solution providers a good opportunity just to secure their service, because at the end of the day, we have to make sure that only the people who are allowed to watch the content, see the content, or are taking part in the program. So it's a big issue for us as the location industry, always to say where it is allowed to have the content and not. And this is also about using fake IP addresses to get some orders or something like that. So just type in, and then the fake IP address will just produce some fraud in your inventory, because at the end of the day, the people is not there, money is stolen, or goods are stolen, things like that. So this is what they do, and actually, it's a good step in the right direction for us as an industry. Yeah, and so what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very important part of our industry for sure, right? I mean, there's lots of scenarios in banking, in online betting, gambling, and in just access to content like Netflix or things like that, where you need to make sure you need to verify that the person who's trying to access that content is in a zone or a geographic area where they have the rights to access that content, and that they're not spoofing their location or faking their GPS or using a VPN to get around it. And so that's really where this set of tools is focused. Specifically, it's they're trying to address with this new tool set, the app side of that, right? So what I like about it is there's no code, there's no SDK. They're enabling these features in sort of a framework that you can power an iOS or Android app to take advantage of these protections that they've had. So fake locations, faking GPS, SIM swapping, we've all done these things, right? Even to get around things, like you and I who travel a lot, we've done those scenarios where we've
As
landed in
we
another
moving in
country and
countries
popped
messed up
another
the
SIM card
lights.
into our phone to get around, paying roaming and these kinds of things. Um, so we've all kind of done it in some form or fashion, right? But I think that it's a very important part of what we do. And I think it's a growing need in industry, right? So there's a company called Geo Comply, which has been around for a while in this space as well. Very, very popular here in North America. Um, and so I like what Appdome is doing here. I think it makes a ton of sense. And I think we'll see more companies take advantage of solutions like this. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
all right. Well, that's our show for this week. You've been listening and watching episode number 658 of Location Weekly. Again, we want to make sure that you know about Retail Loco, and you can join us at those conferences. So the first one happening in Munich on April the 11th, the second happening in Mall of America in Minneapolis, April 24th and 25th. Please reach out to us if you want to get involved as a speaker, sponsor, or an attendee. We'd love to have you there. If you have ideas, content-wise, reach out to us. If you have feedback on the podcast show or you have stories that you think we should be talking about, we'd love to hear about that too. So let us know, and we'll see you next week with another show. Thanks for your time, everyone. Bye.
You